In this video, I'm going to talk to you about doors. We're going to begin by talking about how you annotate doors on a floor plan and then how you document doors in a door schedule. So we're going to take a look at this plan right now, and you can see that there's a few different little shapes and things that have been added to it since we saw it last. For right now, I just want to focus on the tags around the doors. So we're going to start by talking about the tags, and then we're going to talk about door selection. So these little shapes, as I alluded to, are called tags, and they can be, I've seen them all different shapes, but we're going to use the ovals for right now. And you can see the ovals have a number inside. In our case, because our rooms are quite simple and there's just a few of them, we do not have room labels. But if we did, the door tags would be related to the room labels. So for example, if my office was room number 108, meaning it was the eighth room on the first floor, the door tag would also say 108. Okay, but in this case, it's quite simple. So we don't have very simple, complicated door tag numbers. We just have real simple ones that start with number 1, because that's the first door that you would enter in. You can see here that the door tags are individual instances. So there's a different number for each door, and that's so that we can keep track of them, even though door number 1 and door number 5 are the same door type. So you can see here, if we start by looking at these two door types, you can see that these are double doors, okay, which means that there's two doors in a single frame. They open outward, and they're going to have panic hardware. And that's that bar that you push. It's about waist high, and you push out in the event of an emergency. Both of these doors are opening in the direction of egress, of course, and they're sized to make sure that the amount of people in the building can get out safely. So that's why they're twice as wide. Let's look now on the sets of doors that are here. So for the restroom doors, the storage doors, and the office doors, the door type is going to be the same. It's just a single passage door, 36 inches wide. However, they're going to have a slightly different operation. The restroom doors open out, but you can see here that they're recessed so that they don't impose on this egress corridor here. And you can see that the storage and the office doors open in. And that's really just for a little bit more privacy, so that you can open in and kind of sneak in instead of opening out where people could see a little bit more of the space. And so the restroom doors open out so that they're more easily accessible and the public can get in and see, whereas the storage in the office doors open in for the opposite effect. Now, there's also different locking mechanisms and hardware on these two types of doors. The restrooms are going to have a privacy lock, which means that they can they can be locked from the inside. Whereas the storage and office doors are going to have what they call a classroom lock, which means you can lock them from the inside, but they'll have a universal lock on the outside, so that like a janitor or cleaning person could open them with a single key. In the kitchen, there's two door types here. We can see here door number 6 is a double acting door, and so it swings in and out. And you can see here for door number 7, it's just a single passage door that opens out and would also have panic hardware. Now for door number 6, you'll see in a moment, it's going to have a little window so that you can see if someone's coming, so you don't open the door and smack them in the face. So now that we have an understanding of how you mark doors using door tags on a plan, basically through annotation, and you have an understanding of why we selected the doors that we did, it's time now to look at a door schedule so we can see how they're documented. What you're seeing on this sheet is a series of schedules, and there's a lot of information here, which we will get to in due time. But for right now, I want to focus just on this top part, which is the door schedule. And you can see we've got a door schedule, which is a pretty simple table with columns and rows. And then we have a series of elevation drawings of the doors themselves over here to the right. So when you look at your door schedule, you can see here they're sorted by room, and so you can see all the different room labels from our floor plan are here. You can see the mark that was shown in the door tag that we already talked about. And then you can see the door type here. And you can see that the type A, B, C corresponds to the door type elevations that are drawn over here. And you can see here, we also have a column for size, description, frame material, door material, and hardware. So let's jump into one particular one here so that we can see all the information as it's expressed. So remember when we started on the floor plan, we saw that the main entry was mark number 1, and it was the same door type as number 5, which was the corridor. They were those two double doors that were for egress primarily. So you can see the mark is here. The type, they're both type A. So if we look over here, you can see this is door type A, and this is an elevation of it. So you can see we've got a profile line in our thickest line weight outlining the door, the profile line. And we've got our medium line weight showing the change of plane here. And then we've got a series of dashed lines that are drawn in our thinnest line weight using our 45-degree triangle. And these dashed lines are actually indicating they're an arrow, and the arrow points to the hinge location. So this shows us that the doors open basically in the same direction instead of one opening one way and one opening the other. And you can see here that besides that, just basic information, these door elevations are kept simple. We're not assigning, we're not drawing specific hardware right now because that hasn't been selected beyond just sort of a basic description. So these are intentionally kept very vague because of that. But you can see door type A is a double flush passage, and you can see the description right here. The size is 72 inches wide by 84 inches tall, and we know because both doors are 36 inches wide. Description is here, and then frame material and door material are metal because these are going to be fire rated enclosures as well. And you can see here we've got a panic bar with a thumb turned deadbolt. So panic bar, again, we've talked about that. And then the thumb turned deadbolt locks from the inside because, of course, we wouldn't want it to lock from the outside because if the door was locked and there was a fire, people would be locked in. Restroom doors here, remember mark 2 and 3, again, door type B, the same as the ones in the kitchen, office, and storage room. Here you can see door B and B, okay? And if we look at door type B, that's a single flush passage door, just a single door in a frame. Again, no details about hardware type because these all have different hardware types. So you can see here, the size is the same, 36 inches wide by 84 tall, single flush passage. Some are going to have a metal frame, some are going to be wood, okay? The ones that are wood material don't have to be fire rated, and so they can be wood. And you can see here, the restroom doors, again, have that privacy lock. The storage doors have what we call the classroom lock. And that again, is just sort of a generic lock that a janitor or somebody could use, but then you could also lock it from the inside. So again, another reason why it's important that we don't articulate hardware on these elevations because it's different for each of the types, or each of the marks rather. So door type C, you can see here, that's the kitchen door. Remember, there's two doors in the kitchen. One that's the egress door that gets you all the way out of the building, and then one that's a double acting door that opens in and out so that people can access the prep area, okay? And so you can see here that this one is double acting, and if we look at door type C, you can see here, it's a single flush, double acting, but this one has a little window, and you can see my itty bitty little indications of glass right there. Okay, so this is, again, a really simple door hardware schedule, but now you can see how you annotate doors on a plan, why you would select them and place them as we have. You can also see how they're documented on a door schedule with all this other information, and how we use just very basic elevations to indicate the door type.